Everyone. Firstly, thank you so much for joining this session. Me and Chetna have been usually doing a lot of Instagram live, and when we thought of doing one more session um, by the end of this year, we were just thinking that it would be really nice to do a Google Meet session where we actually get to connect with you all. So we both are really happy to see this sort of response and to see you all joining and showing that enthusiasm really made our time and day. So we are just letting everyone in for now, but meanwhile, I'll introduce myself. For those of you who all don't know me, I am Veena. I'm a mandala artist and educator, currently based in Adelaide, South Australia. So I'm from India originally, but I've been brought up in Qatar. So it's during COVID while I was obviously in Qatar growing up. I discovered mandala art, and it's been a very self-taught and an enlightening journey for me with regards to mandala art. And I think now, whatever new I learn, it could be anything. Like, for instance, growing up in Qatar, I've had an influence of Islamic geometry. So I try and see ways of combining Islamic geometry and mandala. So I think that's the same with any mandala artist when you're sort of glued and attracted to the art form. So today we are doing floral mandala art, and we'll go in more detail about what we'll do a bit later. But yes, that's about me, and we will get to know each other more during the session. And I'm looking forward to know you all as well and see what your creative artistic skills are like.
Wonderful. Okay, so now I'll introduce myself as well. One thing that I would like to first share is that whoever is teaching, if it's Veena or me, whoever takes over, just pin our drawing videos. So you can tap on the three dots in the right hand side corner and pin the video so that you can have a bigger view of what we are doing. Okay, just
Yeah.
so you can have a better experience here. Okay, so I am Chetna and I'm a full time artist based in Delhi. I've been practicing for more than 8 years now, and it's been a wonderful journey. Today, we are going to cover floral mandala artwork, where we are going to focus more on florals today, and mandala part will be covered tomorrow. So, the basic itinerary is going to be like we will start with grid construction, which is the base of our artwork, of any mandala artwork. And then we'll move to florals. So we'll first cover the floral part today. What are florals, how to draw them, what are the basic fillers that you can use to fill up the space around your main flowers. We'll discuss everything. And in tomorrow's session, we're going to do the mandala layout patterns and colors. Okay. Now, for the material that is required, we need an A4 size paper, your basic supplies for making the grid, which is your compass. A second. You need a compass, protractor, pencil eraser, ruler, and fine liner pens. I also mentioned brush pens or watercolors. Now, that is an optional thing. If you don't want to add colors to your artwork, you can simply skip that. Okay. Now give me a thumbs up if you're all set and we can get started with the grid.
Okay, that's really nice to see all the thumbs up rolling in. Wow. I don't know how it's coming up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I think it's good to get started.
Yeah.
Alright, guys. I'm just...
A lot of people are still joining.
Maybe we'll wait for like about 10 minutes or 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah. Just like 2 minutes. Okay. I think we're good to go now. So let's get started.
Yeah.
We'll begin Yeah, we'll begin by marking the midpoints on all four sides of our sheet. So we're first going to start with finding the center of the paper, and for that, just measure the shorter side. So you measure the shorter side and you mark the midpoint of it. So this is 21. If you're using A4, it's going to be around 21 centimeters. So we'll put a mark at 10.5 and we'll do the same thing on the other end as well. And we'll join the opposite points. Making a vertical line on our sheet. And we'll do the same thing for the longer side. So measure the longer side, it's going to be somewhere around 30 centimeters. And we'll put a mark at 15. So mine is a little less than 30, so I'm going to mark at 14.8. You do that on both the sides and then join the opposite points, making a horizontal line on your paper. This is the center of our paper. Now place the zero of your ruler at the center along the smaller side, and we're now going to mark the radius for our circles. So I'm going to keep it I'm going to keep the gap small. So I've marked at 0.5 and I'm going to take that gap 0.5 as the gap. So start with 0.5, then mark it 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5 and keep going like that till 6 centimeters. And then you put a mark at 9 centimeters. Okay, so between 6 and 9 you're not going to mark anything. So for the circles you have to mark from 0.5 to 6 with a gap of 0.5 centimeters, which means 0.5, 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5 and you go like that till 6. Do that first and then one more point that you have to mark is at 9. I'll just write it down here. Give me a thumbs up when you're done. Thank you so much. Okay, now we're going to make circles. So place the compass needle at the center point and then open your compass for the innermost circle or the outermost circle, it's your choice, and draw circles for every point that you've marked. Smallest circles are a little tricky. Just be patient. Make sure your pencil is a little sharp so that your circles and lines are precise. So the circles that we've made till 6 centimeter are going to hold the mandala, and the 9 centimeter circle that we've made, the outermost one, this portion is going to have the flowers. Once you're done with the circles, take your protractor, and here you see the 180-degree line, that is the horizontal line. Please mute yourself. Okay, I did it. So we have the 180-degree line, which is the horizontal line, and the 90-degree line here, which is the vertical one. And these lines intersect at this point, which is marked on the protractor itself. We have the same thing on our paper: horizontal line, vertical line, and point of intersection. So we have to align these two things together like this. And once you're done, start by marking angles at a gap of 15 degrees. So we'll mark at 15, then 30, 45, 60, 75. At 90, we already have a line, so we'll skip that. And then 105, 120, 135, 150, and 165. We basically go by the table of 15. Once you're done on the upper side, rotate your sheet and repeat this on the lower side as well. Again, place your protractor and mark 15, 30. So the gap remains the same throughout. 45, 60, 75, 105, 120, 135, 150, and 165. If you have any doubts with the markings, feel free to ask. And once you're done, take your ruler again, and we're going to make lines. So I like to make radial lines and not diametrical lines passing through the center. So what I do is I make a line for each and every point that I've marked till the center. Okay, concentric circles are starting at 0.5. We follow the gap of zero point 0.5 and we make circles till 6 centimeters and then one extra circle at 9 centimeter. So we start at 0.5, gap is 0.5, make circles till 6 and then an extra circle at 9. And the angles are at a gap of 15 degrees. And I'm making radial lines now, and these lines are going to help with the symmetry of the artwork. And I'm not going beyond the 6 centimeter because this part is for florals. Make sure your lines are precise because this is the base of your mandala, the foundation, and it needs to be as perfect as possible to make your patterns and shapes in the best possible way. For that, just ensure that your ruler is touching the center point and the mark, and only then you draw a line. This is how the grid should look like. Give me a thumbs up when you're done, and then we now will start with florals.
Hello, everyone. Good to see you all being engaged so far. Just give me 1 minute. I will maximize my screen so that I can see myself and get started. So, for those who have been Chetna's video right till now, just I think you can still pin 2 videos, 2 to 3 screens at a time. Google Meet allows so. But if you'd like a better maximized view, just pin my screen. And let me know if clarity and all is good. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, it's all good. And yeah, when you get started with the drawing, if there's any issue, I'll let you know.
Okay, all right, then, perfect. All right, so I've just got to the whole process of understanding florals. It starts from observing nature. Like very foundation of mandala patterns also say that it is derived from nature and it's just observing from nature around you. So even with florals, the best way to learn is to observe the nature around you. And for now, we won't be going very in depth, but a little. And just to sort of give you that understanding or how actually it's the right way to do it is like I told before, observing nature, definitely. So I've just got 2 flowers over here. Like, this is not what we'll be doing. It's a little complicated for today, but What I'm saying is, the way you draw a flower really depends on the angle you're viewing it from. So just imagine that this is the top angle, like from where you're seeing. So you'll just be focused on this bit, right? Your center point will be here. But whereas when you're viewing it from a little different angle, like maybe a little lower or something, your structure changes. For instance, over here as well, if this is just the flat lay, like you're observing it like this, then it's just this will be a center point and then you start building around it. But whereas if it's like this, right, then structure changes, your center point becomes a little lower. So it is all going to make sense now when I actually draw and show it to you. Mm, so I'll just keep this aside and I'm going to teach you two of my flowers, favorite flowers. One is it's called a plumeria. So I did an artwork recently with plumerias, which unfortunately I'm not able to find that right now. But it's on my Instagram feed, and I would love for you all to go see it. So plumerias are those yellowy white flowers which are really pretty. And the other one is cherry blossoms because where I live right now in Adelaide, not right now, but just a month ago, we had these nice cherry blossoms coming up. So I really wanted to do those two flowers. So we'll be doing those two today. And what I was explaining a bit a while ago is I'll show it to you quickly on the back side. Okay. So just taking two flowers, for instance, like very quickly to understand. So when maybe you're observing a flower as it is from the top, right? So your structure starts like this, and then you make a very basic grid. Again, this structure varies from flower to flower, right? So you make a very basic grid, and here comes your center point. Okay? And then you're sort of doing like you're building around. You start with one or two petals, for instance, and then you're building around, right? This is one way of observing when you're observing right from the top. It could be anything, even the petals which are pointed, right? Like this is a very, very basic flower that we usually see around. It's just for you to understand how do we start with the structure. Now, if you're viewing the flower from a little different angle, not like, from the top, your structure still remains this. Your structure still could remain the same, or could be a little bit oval, depending. And then your center point changes, maybe somewhere a little off center, and then you're sort of adding in a little depth. Right, so you can see this, and then we don't leave it like this towards the end. We could add some sort of, like how the petals fold, like rather when you wing from the top, it looks all as if it's upright, but when you're viewing it from the side, the petals are folding, right? Your view is changing. So similarly, so you could add this sort of curve.
Then you just need to move the camera a little towards. Yeah,
So this one, yeah. So this becomes. I'm just feeling it a little bit for you to understand.
You need to move it a little towards your left.
Okay.
Yes, now it's perfect.
So you can see that adding some sort of it. Now here, this will not have any depth because this is more coming just little bit towards the top like this. So this is a very basic, just a flower structure that I've sort of taken for you to understand. you see the difference between these two? So this is when you're just doing it from the top, and this is when you're adding some sort of depth. And you can always achieve that sort of depth in your artwork with different watercolors, or it could be just with pencil or with, um, you know, brush strokes and everything. But the way you view the flower really changes the angle at which you're drawing it. So the best tip would be to start observing, and even if I know it's not possible to observe, or like here, for instance, we have botanic gardens, and but it's not possible to go there all the time. So you can just take pictures from different angles. That will really help you draw, and you could come home and then do that. Like, I'll take 5 minutes of your time again, and we had this assignment in my master's where we did sketch about 30 plants. So I'll just show you something really quick. Okay, it should be the other way around. So if you could see here.
If you move the camera a little away from it, you'll be having a better view of it. Rina, can you move the camera a little far away from it? Yes, better.
Right. So it's all about really observing nature, and you can see even over here, like this one. Every small flower has a very different portrayal. Like some are just blooming, some are like a bit different angle, and some are sort of have one or two petals missing. So that's the beauty of nature. Now, one thing when you're learning or doing florals is that you can't expect it to be perfect with, your strokes or something. A little unlike mandala art, it can go a little flowy. Your petals can be a little bit here and there. It's nature, right? Let nature takes its own course. So, yeah, that's the whole idea. And this is how it just a little tip and trick, like you can achieve shading with this coloring is done with simple brush pens, just for blending two colors. So there are different ways of coloring a floral mandala. All right. So now we'll focus on our specific flower that we'll be doing for today. So the whole idea was to give you a little background about how we perceive and how we get started with floral art. Now what we're going to do is we're going to draw 4 flowers, and again it can go a little beyond your 9 centimeter. You don't have to restrict this boundary. Like I told, it's nature. Let it be free and precise. Sorry, let it be free and unprecise. Let it flow. Okay. So, like I showed before, we're going to start off, and we're going to treat this as like 1, 2, 3, 4 flowers, and it's okay to go a little over the mandala, no problem at all. So whatever you feel like doing, you could either keep it within this, or you could go a little over it and then draw your mandala accordingly, right? So you're going to start off by making just 4 circles. You don't really need a compass for it. Just take out your pencil, that's it, and just make like a rough circle. We're gonna do that on all 4 sides. You could change the shape if you want, or you could keep all 4 the same sizes. No pressure. Whatever you feel like. It's okay to experiment. And remember, we're gonna keep this very light, okay? Yeah, yeah, you can draw with compass if you're not able to draw with hands. That's totally fine. But it doesn't have to be really a perfect circle, so that's why I'm saying it's okay if it goes a little here and there. Because after this, we'll be using some sort of leaves and everything to sort of fill this gap. And here we're doing four, but if you really want to add more, just repeat the same process in between, maybe in a smaller size or however you would like to. No, it is not necessary to have a perfect circle because this is just the shape that we are doing. It will change. You could draw it bigger. All right. So is it okay for me to get started? A quick thumbs up would be great. Like I'll start showing the first flower.
Hi, we're going to send you recordings, so don't worry if you missed it till here. Just do the flowers on a separate spare paper along with Veena, and whatever we are doing, just do it on a spare paper, and then you can watch the recordings and do the whole artwork later.
Thank you, Chetna. All right, so I've just raised a little bit of whatever mandala grid is coming in between for me so that I just have a little clear frame. All right, and now for this one, I'm going to start the center point from a little north in the center. Okay, like I showed you before, it's the plumeria that we are doing. And I'm going to start off a bit from the center. And we're going to start by making petals. Like it can be a little curvy like this. Okay. They're going to overlap. Okay. The petals will overlap. So now, again, starting from here, I'll go over this and then come back. I'm doing them a little darker so that you all can see it clearly, but keep it light as much as possible. And you can also keep this edge over here, this you see at the top, right? You can keep it a little flat and then curve towards here. Again, no restriction. It can be a little curvy. You can keep changing however it is. Okay, no restriction at all. Like let it flow nicely. And then here it's going to it's going to fall off. Like it's a little off centered, right? So now it's going to be drooping. So it's going to go like this. It can and overlap a little bit. So if you see, I've seen plumerias, they sort of overlap a lot. Like it feels like they're all coming together towards one center. Yeah. And then, so I'm going to start this petal. We have two more petals to go. I'm going to start that. So very little. I'm not overlapping a lot. It's almost as if the lines are matching over here. Okay. And then just come back like this. And then, yeah, and then I'm going to start off. I'm going to overlap a little bit and then make this one a little shorter but broader. Yeah. A quick thumbs up, please. Perfect. Thank you so much. So now we are going to start by adding edges to this. So if we'll start with this one. So just from here, okay, and then we'll add some sort of that like this. So you see as if it has folded. And it can be a little natural, that's fine. Yeah. And then start off from here as well. And then merge like this. Yeah. And then from here, we're going to, you can keep erasing if it's a lot for you, like the overlapping bit. Yep. And then for this one, from the starting, from the midpoint, I'm going to take. Okay. And now for this one, I'm just going to let it overlap a little bit more. And then we're going to start by and towards the end, we're just going to merge it. Okay. Now this petal is meant to come over this. So I'm going to erase this bit, whatever is overlapping. And I'm going to add a little bit towards the edge. So the whole idea is we're sort of giving this extra um, depth, and I hope now you're able to relate with the flower. So this is usually that flower which sort of has these edges, and then it's yellow, white, or yellow, pink, different colors. Now feel free to erase if you just for your clarity if there's anything that's overlapping, like the spits.
Just one tip, don't erase any parts on the mandala grid. Only
Yeah, yeah.
erase around the flower. Don't erase anything from here because you will get confused later when we do the mandala. Okay? Yeah.
Yes.
Please continue, Veena.
Okay. So I hope this is clear for everyone. What I'll do is I'll let you all go ahead and fill wherever else you would like to with the same flower, and I'll show you the next one. And then I'll hand it over to Chetna. So the next one that we're going to do is a cherry blossom. Okay. So for that one, I'll be doing it over here towards the bottom. Okay. And as if I am seeing the flower, oops, like this. Okay. Like from the side. So we have that. Okay. So when I'm seeing the flower from the side, the center point won't be really visible like how we have done before. So what we'll be doing is, what I usually prefer to do when my center point is not really seen is I'll just start off by drawing the petal which is going to be prominent. So in this case, we're going to start off by drawing the first petal from the bottom, like this. Okay, and then a little bit, you can add a little bit of curviness, like this. I'd just like to add a little bit more curviness. Yeah. Yeah, and then we're going to start off not from here because it's going to build around. We're going to start off a little bit from here, okay? And then just make it very tiny and like this. Again, like earlier, we're going to still add depth to this. So the moment you start adding depth, it's all going to start making sense, honestly. And then the next one will be, again, we will add it a little bit from the bottom, not very much from the bottom. And it'll be a linear one like this. You can see as if it's holding like this. Yeah. And then after that, we're going to add our two other petals. And then like this. And also, sorry guys, just I feel like this wet flower has to be a little prominent. So I'm just going to erase this a little bit and I'm going to make it a little bigger. Okay. So that it now gives the illusion that we're actually viewing it from the top and like, okay. So now we're going to start by adding depth to this. So I'll start with this flower over here. So it's just really simple. So we'll start from somewhere over here. And then it doesn't have to be opposite exactly following this outline. It can overlap sometimes. Not overlap, sorry. It can be, you can give some gap or sometimes just match it with this actual original line and then bring it down like this and like this. I'm just going to erase the rest of it over here so that same with this one. So you could just start off by, really simple like this. And for the ones on the side, you could add one small one like this. And then we will add a lot of it like this. So all of this is basically as if the flower is folded. Okay, and then towards over here as well. Yeah, and then this one is at the front, right? So it will be at the top, it will be coming down. So we will add like this. And so now we're going to do the small bits the that come in the flower inside. My bad, I forgot the name. I think it's stamen. Stamen, yeah. And then just like this. So these detailings you could add later also, but just to show it to you, you could add of different lengths. But this is just for you to show now, but if you're doing watercolors or something like that, then add this bit later, like after the detailing bit, okay? So just repeat these two flowers here and there. What I could do is, after the session is done, I'll do these two flowers as well, and I will send a photo for your quick reference so that by tomorrow you can have these two ready as well. Because now we will learn the fillers bit. We will do probably in one section, and then so that the rest of it you could take your own sweet time and complete it later. Just a quick thumbs up, guys, if it's all good and if you're able to, if you've been able to follow up until here, and then Chetna will get started.
Wonderful. I see so many thumbs ups. And Veena, you've done a wonderful job. The flowers look really good.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're going to cover some very basic things like how to add leaves of different shapes, and then how to do the buds and how to fill this whole thing up. We're also going to cover a few smaller flowers so that not a lot of leaves are visible. Like we only have four major flowers and then a lot of leaves. No, we want some smaller flowers sprinkled here and there as well. Okay, so for the smaller flowers first, I'll show you one or two. Let's cover this section. Okay. All right. So now we'll place very randomly. Just like Veena mentioned, we start with a small circle. You can do it. I'm going to do two quickly. Okay, and the flower is going to be very generic. I'm not very perfect with the names of the flowers or like how to do or yeah, the names of the flowers or what terms I used. I'm not good with it. I mostly do it as doodle, so bear with me. Starting with a center, make a bigger one here. Okay, you can place these very randomly. Now divide it into 5 sections, roughly 5 sections that are kind of equally placed. Nothing needs to be perfect here, okay? Now, in this one, I'm going to go with a petal that goes like this. We're not going to do anything like Veena said, that is her part. We're going to do a very simple flower where all the petals are going to look similar, basically like a top view. Okay, one petal in each section. The sections don't need to be very perfect in gaps. Like a mandala, we're not following any precision here. Here in this one, I'm going to make it look like a sunflower. So the petals are going to be like this. This one had petals like this. Okay. I'm going to do one in each section again. You can leave it at that, it looks good. But if you want to make it look like a sunflower, you can add one or two in between. Like this. And then for the center of the sunflower, you can make a cross hatching pattern like this. Okay, so what is cross hatching? You make lines in one direction and then you make lines in the opposite direction to make a net like pattern. That's what we've done at the center of this. In this one, in the center, you can do a lot of small, tiny circles like this. A bunch of circles. Okay. Once you're done with this, you can make as many of these flowers as you want. And once you are done, I think I'll move to my pen now to quickly do this. Are you using 0.3 pen? I'm using 0.5 right now, but feel free to use whichever tip size you want.
You could go with 0.1 as well if you feel that's more comfortable, 0.1 or 0.2, because that's very small nib size for this sort of flower.
Yeah. If you want a very intricate kind of detail, go with a smaller tip size.
Yeah, and also you could play with different fine liners. Like for the smaller flowers, you could go with smaller nib size. For the bigger flowers that we just drew, you could add the big, little bigger nib size. Yeah. So that way you're playing with the depth without even using colors.
When you're doing floral doodles, make the shapes very wobbly. You don't need to do perfect petal shapes. They can go here and there. Okay. Once you're done, just extend the lines from the flowers in one major direction first, and then we'll extend them from there. Now we're going to make smaller stems and attach leaves to them. I'm making the direction go like this, upwards. Small stem, attach a leaf on the other side as well. Simple. And at some points, make the leaf smaller. At some points, you can just make sure you're not overlapping the main flower. Okay. Also, don't do anything in this within this circle range. Um, you can later on cover the part that gets left. Okay. Only cover the part that is clearly visible right now, that you should be doing right now. Okay. And then here as well. Make smaller and bigger leaves like this, and you can also extend two small stems and make leaves like this. Okay, now you see we still have a lot of space, and for that we're going to make some more lines. And again attach smaller flowers and make it look like things are overlapping each other. Like here I made a leaf which is behind this upper leaf. Okay, you can keep some of the leaves smaller and make some of them bigger. Make Just make sure you're not overlapping the main flower that we have here. Okay. Sorry? Shall we pen the bigger flower also? Yeah, you can outline it, yes. Trace it with your pen. Now, when you're doing the leaves and you know that these are fillers, that means you want to fill the space. Make sure you're making them in a way that the leaves are actually covering up space. Okay, so here I made a bigger leaf because I know this is going to cover up the space and I don't need to do anything else now. Okay, now randomly in between, just as a filler, you can do some small circles like this. Yes, I'll show it on a separate paper how to do the leaves. So you have to make one main stem, main line, and then make smaller stems branching out of it, and you attach leaves to those smaller stems. Okay, now at some points you can make a smaller leaf, and at some points you can make two stems coming out and then draw your leaf. Okay, now you can change the direction very easily. If you want to cover more space here, you can make the stem this way and then make the leaf this way, you know, because suppose you have a flower over here, then you can cover the space very easily with one or two leaves like this. Just keep on making big and small leaves, and at a few points just make two stems instead of one. This comes with practice, so don't worry if you're not able to do it right away. Use your separate spare notebook, spare paper to draw a lot of these leaves. Practice first and then make it in your main artwork. And you can also make all of this with pencil first and then trace with your pen, whatever works best. Okay. This is one kind of leaf. You can do the same thing with another type of leaf, which is this one. Okay. One more type of leaf can be where you're making it a little wobbly like this. So you can do any kind of shape. You can intentionally add three curves like this. Here I've added two curves. This one's just going wavy without any perfect number of curves. And there's also this kind of leaf. So the options are endless, and you can do all of them in this way. So make a branch and then a lot of stems coming out of it. And then in very small gaps that we still have, just add tiny circles this way. Now you have to do the rest of it as homework. We'll do our bit and share it on the group, share the images on the group. Okay, it's already been an hour. So I think it's a good time to end the session now.
Definitely. So I'll send a little bit pictures, guys, where you could just use those pictures as a reference and do the remaining two flowers. Um, and also, you could go ahead and fill this whole bit if you would like. No pressure for tomorrow. So our main focus will be on the
mandala. Yes.
Yeah.
And I also have a Pinterest board where I've curated a lot of doodle elements. I'll share that with you, and you can use that as well for your reference and fill up the space over here. Everything will be shared on the group. Okay.
Also, the flowers and these petals, these leaves that you showed just now, Chetna ma'am,
Mm-hmm.
they will be also
Yes,
sent to the
I'll
group.
send them to the group. Yes.
Yes,
I'll
thank
share
you.
all the images that I have. Where is it? Yeah, I'll share this picture with you. It's got a lot of reference. Okay. Any other questions before we end the session?
Are we supposed to place this same cherry blossom and the other flower across each other, or anywhere we can place it? Anywhere. So we have two more gaps, right? So like I've just started doing this right now. So if you see, like I've done one cherry blossom here and one of the plumeria here. So I'm going to do another cherry blossom here. I'm going to send a picture. Like instead of viewing it this way, I'm making it little like a flat lay. But and then this one as well, I'll change and I'll send it to you. So I'll send step by step photos for this one. So this is how I've done. plumeria, and cherry blossom. But if you feel like you could change it as well, you could bring in one plumeria here, one plumeria here, and two cherry blossoms, or you could add one major flower in here, another one. All right. So
the arrangement is basically up to you. It's your creativity where you want to place the flowers. We just found it's going to be very balanced. So we placed the major flowers on all four corners, you can say, and then we decided to fill up the rest of the space with smaller elements. But feel free to place the major flowers anywhere you want. Any other doubts? I think we're all clear. And
yeah, very good. Thank you, guys.
we'll
Lots of
see you all
love.
tomorrow, same time. Thank you so much for joining and thank you for your active participation. Hope to see you the same tomorrow as well. Bye.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you
Thank
so
you, guys.
much.
Bye.
Bye.